Hi guys, and welcome to my Q&A on All About Ali channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the first and second video. This is going to be a first of probably a couple Q&As because you guys had a lot of questions. So without further ado, I am going to start. Miss Monica Lifts asks, what came first, the pet shop or the zoo? So I've always had a love of animals, of course, from the time, I could walk. I have a funny story that my mom used to tell me all the time. So you know how most kids have little baby carriages with babies in it? Well, apparently I would toss the baby away and I would fill it with things that I would find outside. And there was an older lady in our neighborhood and she came over to me and said, "Oh, what's in your baby stroller?" And she pulled down the blanket and it was full of slugs. So even from the time I was pushing a baby carriage, animals were always my number one. So I had animals, quite a few animals growing up, and I had 3 dogs when I bought my pet store, and then all the other animals have come after that. So pets came first, and then my pet store came second. We're just going to stick on the animal topic because this is another animal question. Stevie B. Miller asks, "Hi Ali, I'd like to know if all of your beautiful pets ever fight or do they all just get along?" So the answer is they do sometimes fight. There are some that like others and some that don't like others. So Diva, which is the slithery snake girl in Greg's videos, she doesn't really get along with Lulu, which is my youngest Chihuahua. So they sometimes fight. And it's funny because Lexi, who's my second dog, gets in the middle and sort of breaks them up. Other than that, all the cats get along. Gertie and Lou fight a little bit, but other than that, no. Even all the fosters that come in, I foster dogs and cats, so they all seem to just get along with each other, and any issues, they work out on their own. That was a good question. Klein.Casey asks, favorite snack, question mark. So I have to say my favorite snack is anything chocolate or candies. Like I love Swedish fish, I love gummy bears, I love any type of chocolate. So yes, chocolate and candy. I'm not so much a salty person, but sweet I'm all over. Jaden Slomik asks, how often do you and Greg go out on dates? So not very often. We do like to have a lot of fun. We do like to go on vacations, but a lot of couples do like a date night, which we don't do at all. We just go on dates when we find the time, and we love going to movies. I enjoy eating out, so Greg will come with me and eat out if I want to. We used to do some more sort of, events that were revolving around occasions, like, apple picking or going to the pumpkin patch or stuff like that. But we sort of haven't really had time to do that in the last couple of years, but we definitely spend a lot of time together in a hot body of water, like a bathtub or our hot tub. So we pretty much every night try to have at least, 2 hours to just hang out by ourselves, watch some TV, watch a show, watch a movie, and just hang out. So I guess that's sort of like a date that we try to do every night, but in terms of going out on actual dates, we don't do a whole lot. So there is a couple questions that I'm going to group together around our relationship, how we met, and if we want to have kids. So this will be a little bit of a long one.
That's what she said. Of course she said that. You all know she said that. Well, maybe not for you guys, but Ed.
So Greg and I met 8 years ago next month, actually in November. And the story is his roommate, Johnny Shreve, was coaching my roommate, Ashley. So right before a competition, my roommate had asked me if I would go over and record some of her posing practice that she was doing with Johnny. And sure enough, when I walked in the house, there was Greg. And it was hilarious because I'm pretty sure he had his shirt off and was standing and eating in his kitchen, which is very typical. So I sort of walked in and he was like, "Hey, are you competing?" And I was like, "Ooh, do I look like I compete?" So he sat down beside me, offered me a protein sickle.
Homemade protein sickles, 200 calories in all of this. All of this.
So the people who have his cookbook will know about protein sickles. So he's like feeding me these protein sickles. Anyways, he was very persistent on asking me to go for dates, and I kept telling him, no, I'm busy. At that point in my life, I was relatively new, a year and a half maybe, opening my business. So I was working like 100 hours a week. I was doing then what Greg is doing now. So I had no free time to do anything. So I kept putting him off and putting him off and putting him off. Finally, we went on a group date. I think our first 2 dates were actually group dates. One was to watch UFC at Boston Pizza. The other one was a laser tag date with a bunch of people, which was super fun as well. So that's how we met. We don't actually have an actual anniversary date. We just sort of slipped into a relationship somehow. So yeah, that's our story. So we've been together for 8 years. I've been married before. So when I met him, I told him that I wasn't, really interested in getting married and didn't really want kids. I've never wanted kids. So I sort of say that relatively soon in any of my relationships, just because that's a bit of a deal breaker. There's no compromising children. So, and he was good with it. He was like, he's sort of, I'll do whatever you want to do kind of a person. So it's worked out well. So the plan is no kids and not interested in getting married. We're so happy as it is. So we don't want to change anything. And we're both very, very busy. So this works for us. Stacy Yates 007 asks, how/why did you start your own business and what did you do before? So I had done my early childhood education in college in Toronto, and I did my teacher's college at York University. And I ended up getting quite sick with my Crohn's disease my second year of university. So I ended up having to have bowel surgery and 1.5 feet of my bowel removed. So I needed a low stress job while I was like recovering. And my uncle owns quite a few Lazy Boy stores in Ontario. So I started working for him in the administrative department. So I did all of the hiring for the admin departments. I helped him with ordering when he took over new locations. So that's what I did before. I also worked in daycares as well. And I taught swimming and taught skiing my entire life from the time I was, 16 as well. So that's what I did before I opened my own business. And how that came about is I thought that being a teacher, I would eventually burn myself out. My mom's a teacher. She was a teacher for a lot of years. She just retired a couple of years ago. So I was looking potentially, I always wanted to open my own business. I was thinking in the daycare system, but things changed. One of my uncles knew of someone who worked for Pet Value head office, which is in Markham, Ontario, and put it in my ear, hey, look into Pet Value. So I did. I met with them a couple of times. And then they offered me a store in the Maritimes because we had no stores out here. So I ended up flying down for a couple of weekends and loved it here and ended up buying a store, buying a house, and moving within 1 year of starting to look at Pet Value as a potential business. So it's been amazing. I've had my store for 9 years, just this past March, and I've loved every second of it. It's that kind of job / career / business that you never really have a bad day. All I do all day is talk about pets, which of course has always been my passion. And animal people are just really good people. So I honestly can count on one hand the amount of actual customer service issues where people were legit upset. It's been so rare. So working in a retail setting, yet not having any customer service problems is just not heard of ever. So I really am lucky to be doing something that I absolutely love on a daily basis with no stress. All the stressful stuff like accounting, paperwork, the stuff that I don't want to do and are not good at, I send away to an accountant. So I literally only do the fun stuff in my business, and I thoroughly enjoy every single day. Fitokun, I sound like Greg. I don't know how to pronounce half of these names. He asked, does it bother you when Greg speaks about your private couple life in his videos? The answer to that is no. Greg and I have a very open relationship when it comes to what we do on social media. Our life together in private is the same as our life on our social media and out in public. We're very open book about everything. So no, it does not bother me. I'm all open for discussing anything and everything to a certain extent, I guess. So the good, the bad, the ugly, it all comes out in our social media, in our YouTube videos, and I'm very happy to share that. So no, it doesn't bother me at all. Caitlin Gaska, oh, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce these names. I'm sorry. She asked, did you know a lot about nutrition before Greg was in your life? So my mother has always been into health and nutrition. She taught home economics before she switched to physical education. I've grown up always being healthy with, healthy foods. There was always dinner prepared. Very rarely did we eat fast food. There was never any roll-ups or, I say roll-ups because I specifically remember being, in school, in elementary school, and trying to trade to get roll-ups. So the only snack I ever remember getting that was like a bad snack was Dad's oatmeal cookies. So I remember trading for like roll-ups and gushers and all those cool things that kids have. And then we never had like candy cereal either. So the only time we got those like extra treats or snacks was when we were like going to our cottage. We get those tiny little boxes, that you cut with a knife and you pour the milk right in there. So that was like our favorite thing. And I remember being in the car with my brothers and we would like call dibs on which cereal out of these little box cereals that we wanted. So we were always very excited to get these unhealthy snacks. But no, I grew up in a very, very active family. We were always playing outside, doing sports. I can play any sports, and that's because from a very young age, that's just what we did. I don't play video games. I'm not good at computers because we really didn't have them. We used, our creative minds to create games outside. So yes, I did have quite a bit of knowledge on nutrition and healthy eating and being physically active before I met Greg. But when I met Greg is when I actually started to focus on lifting weights and going to the gym. I was never really a gym person. I was always an activity, sport, go outside kind of a person. So yeah, he really helped me focus on getting stronger. And that's when I started powerlifting. I watched him in a powerlifting meet and I instantly fell in love. I was like, I want to do this. So that's what started my love of powerlifting, was in fact Greg, and going to the gym. It was all Greg. Jay Champeth 15 asks, if you had to choose between Baby Nakey and Gertie, who would you pick? Now, I would never, ever in a million years pick any of my animals. They're all my favorites. I love them all the same. Baby Nakey is extra special. Gertie is extra special. So, and they're all extra special. There isn't one that I love more or want to spend more time with, but Baby Nakey definitely seeks attention, like wants to be on your neck, kissing your face, rubbing against your face 24/7. So he definitely is my neediest animal. So you have, a little extra love from him because he's always around. Whereas the other animals, they have a lot of alone time. They're happy just napping on their warm beds. But Baby Nakey definitely wants to be around you all the time. Gert loves napping. So she likes to eat her meals and then go on her heated bed and nap for the rest of the day. So no, I would never choose between them. They're all my favorite. Matt Murphy _97 asks, would you ever go fully vegan for the animals? I did a video with Greg on his channel about cutting meat out from my diet. And there was a little bit of controversy around that because he kept saying vegan when really it's lacto-ovo-vegetarian, and I do eat some fish, so like pescatarian. So I started off with what I was able to manage in terms of cutting certain things out of my diet. So I cut out meat like chicken, turkey, beef, any pork, of course. I don't eat any pig, but I still do eat fish, and I still eat some dairy and some eggs. So I haven't cut that out. I want to say that I will work towards that, but I'm not 100% sure if it's sustainable for me because of my Crohn's disease. I do have to be a little bit careful with the fiber intake. So I don't know. I want to, and I'm going to work towards that, but I don't know a timeline for that. But yes. By Valeriu _ asks, are you into spiritual things? You seem so. You have a great vibe. Thank you. So I really wanted to touch on this, so I'm glad someone asked because I don't talk about it a whole lot, but I grew up in a very Christian family. So I've gone to church my entire life from the time I was born. My family still goes to church, our same church that I was raised in. I know everybody there. Whenever I'm back home in Toronto, I'm always there on Sundays. It's been a huge part of my life. I actually also went to a Christian high school, which was a private school. So spiritual things have always been a part of my life. Right now, I do watch some like Facebook Live videos back from my home church, but I don't have a church here in Nova Scotia that I go to on a regular basis. But that will always be a huge part of who I am, and why I am the way that I am is because I was raised with strong morals and values and a Christian upbringing. So that to me is very important to have in your life. I love that I have that part of me, but yeah, so practicing, I'm a little weak on actually getting to church, but that doesn't change that I am a Christian and that, you know, I love God, I love others. It's always just been and will be a part of me. So I am going to wrap that up here. I will do a part 2 of the Q&A because there are so many more questions that I want to answer. Hopefully you stuck through that entire thing. I know a lot of people don't know a lot about me because I've only sort of been a couple of times on Greg's channel, but a lot of you guys are misinformed maybe of who I am and what I do. So I'd love to continue to answer your questions because that way you can get to know me. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment, hit the bell button if you want to be notified when my videos go up. I'm going to try to post one. I'm going to get my act together and I'm going to try to post one once a week. So stay tuned and thanks for watching. Oh, I didn't drink any of my wine.